What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? BizzyDad here, you there, and we are checking out the latest round of spoilers from Force of Will's Vingolf 3 set, which is coming out next month in February. And I have to say that so far the spoilers have been really good. The five rulers, really liked them. The new dual stones, I'm still on the fence. I don't hate them, but I'm not in love with them. But I mean, that's okay. But it was the basic stones. They really just stole the show last time around. So that was really good. And now we're going to get into the resonators. So this is the Ruler All Stars is going to be the base, the theme of this Vingolf set. And what I'm reading is that each week the spoilers are going to be rulers or ruler type cards from all the sets, all the clusters. So this time around, this is the Alice cluster, and they're going to be resonators based on Alice cluster rulers. So let's get into it, and let's see what we're getting this week. We'll start it off with light, as always, and this is Arla, the Light Wing. So it's a 4-drop Angel Resonator. 2 light and 2 others to play. Here is something that Celestial Wing Seraph can go and get, but I'm sure that everyone is still going to just spam the Celestial Lucifer into the ground. But if you don't want to do that, here's another 4-drop you can get. 800 Flying Resonator with a lot of text. Other J Resonators you control with flying gain barrier. And that is pretty cool. That right there just might want to make you think about potentially getting Arla over Lucifer. The fact that anyone else who flies is going to get barrier with Arla on the field. If you rest, this card deals 400 damage to target attacking J Resonator. For 1 light and rest, you can destroy a target addition or regalia. And for 3, pay 3 light and rest, destroy target J Resonator with flying. So the Artemis bow is built right into this card. This is a really good card, really interesting, multi-purpose. 800. I wish it was a. I mean, it's tough to complain about the stats when you see everything that Arla does with its ability. So really good card right here. Here is Faria, Paladin of the Dawn, a 2-drop. So 2 light to play. It's a Paladin Resonator, 600 attack and defense. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to this card while it is battling. So anytime it's attacking or blocking, no damage is going to come its way. Also, if you pay 2 light, you could cancel a target spell or ability targeting this card. So a nice little perk right there. I think if there's anything negative to it is having to have 2 open will to spend just to cancel a target coming after Faria. Again, these are just my thoughts, just reading them on the surface. So we'll see how that one goes. We'll move on to fire, and here's Melgus, King of Conquest, a swordsman resonator, 600 attack, 400 defense. Look at him with Levitine, really good artwork. 600, 400 to 2-drop, 2 red with swiftness, and a constant ability of players cannot gain life. So really not bad. This is not going to be a barnstormer or a game changer at all. Might be a nuisance if you go up against anyone who has a life-gaining deck. But really, it is what it is there. Here we go. Sylvia Gil Palarilius, the Infernal Dragon, a 3-drop, 2 red, 1 other to play. 800, 700 Dragon Resonator with flying. Also, check out the Awakening, an Awakening of Green. And when this card enters your field, put a 500 Fire Wind Dragon Resonator token with flying into your field. So, obviously, the progression of this game as we're going along in this cluster are the tokens. So, we see even more tokens here. This card will also gain swiftness as long as your J ruler is Sylvia Gil Palarilius. So, hand in hand with the ruler Sylvia, Scribble Sketch. If you're watching, this card is for you. It is gorgeous. It really is gorgeous. 8/7 flying. We'll get swiftness if Sylvia is also the ruler. You could throw in an Awakening for green for the token. But if you're running the Sylvia ruler too, you're going to have access to that red and green. Love this card. This is a really good card. On to green, and here is Priscia, the Wild Child, a 1-drop. Human Beast Resonator. So 1 green, 100 attack and defense with resonance. So we see the rulers with resonance. Here's a resonator with resonance. So every time a wind magic stone gets put into your field, you put 2 +100 counters on this card. And the card will gain precision and +1/+1 as long as your J ruler is Priscia the Beast Lady or Priscia Commander of the Sacred Beast. So the original Priscia from Seven Kings of the Land. This card is really interesting. I mean, of course, it looks small at 1/1, but every time you call in a wind magic stone, every time a wind magic stone hits your field, she's going to get counters. So green is good for ramping. So if you mix in some cards like Blessing of Yggdrasil or Red Riding Hood, Timekeeper Elf, anything that's going to bring a stone into your field, every time Prissy is going to get the counters for it. So she could get pretty big, but she also has to stay on the field. It's not something where she's going to get +1/+1 for every wind stone. She has to be on the field when they come in, so just keep that in mind. Now, here's something after my own heart. Here is Yggdrasil, the first tree. And, I always say artwork is amazing, but I'll say it again. Artwork is amazing. It is a treasure tree resonator, 0 attack, 1200 defense, and it does cost 4 to play. 1 green, 1 light, and 2 of others. So it's a steep cost, but check out the ability. Rest it and produce 2 wills in any combination of attributes. That is really strong. If you could somehow get 2 of these Yggdrasils on the field and get them to stick, you have the ability to rest and just produce 4 wills at any time, which is wow. I mean, I'm really interested in this card. I really want to make this work somehow. Really, no complaints off the surface, but just being able to create the 2 will and then use it for something else. The 1200 defense is amazing. That Heart-Stirring Sage, I mean, if you play a deck with that, you could turn this tree into a 12/12. The attack will equal the defense. So just thinking out loud there, but definitely an interesting card. On to water, and here is Kaguya, Guardian of the Moon. A 2-drop, 1 blue and 1 of others, a myth resonator, 300 attack and defense. Now, if you rest, you put a 100/100 water rabbit resonator token into your field. Here comes some more tokens. Now the rabbits are coming. Also, rabbit resonators you control gain +1/+1 as long as you control a moon edition. So Kaguya has always been with that theme with moons, and I admit that I really don't use her that much. I actually don't have the latest ruler of her. I didn't really use the resonator of her. I'm not against her. I just don't really have the cards or the capacity to use her. So this is kind of interesting. 2-drop, the stats are really not that good. 3/3. Rest to put a token in. That's not bad. The tokens can gain if you have a moon edition. I don't know how many moon editions there are. There are going to be some in this set. So this is jury is out on this card. It's very cute. Kaguya, very cute. And here is Valentina, Maiden of the Oceans. A 6-drop, 2 blue and 4 other to play. It's a human resonator, 1200 attack and defense. If your J ruler is Valentina, Princess of Love, or Valentina, the ruler of Paradise, you may pay 1 less to play this card. So she can come in for 5 if you run the old Valentina. If you rest and discard a card, you return target resonator to its owner's hand. Okay. If you rest and discard 3 cards, you gain control of target resonator. And I don't know how that would be better than just playing the resonator Valentina Puppet Monarch, which would let you gain control of a target resonator your opponent controls just by coming into the field, and she comes in for 4. So there might be something there with the value, maybe just the discarding, maybe to rest and discard to send a resonator back to its owner's hand. Maybe that gives it a little more value. Outside of that, the 12/12 body is nice, but the 6-drop and discarding 3 cards to gain control, it doesn't seem worth it. But again, it's one of these things where you'd have to get these cards and play test and see what works and what doesn't work. Finally, we're going to move on to Dark, and here is a card that is hitting me right in the heart, right at the sweet spot. Of course, the first card I ever had in this game was Rezard, and here is Rezard, the Vampire Lord. And I'm assuming that is the Death Scythe, looking nasty. It is a Vampire Resonator, 3 drops, so it costs 3 dark to play, 800 attack and defense. I'm like squinting reading this. It says, at the end of turn, put all Resonators that were dealt damage by this card this turn from their owner's graveyard into your field. So whenever Rezard hits somebody and kills them, at the end of the turn, they go from the graveyard into your field. So that is pretty nice, and hopefully there's some cards that help us out here doing max damage. Blood-Covered War Axe lets you hit everybody for 200, so we'd have to see what else comes along. When this card leaves your field for a non-field zone, banish all Resonators put into a field by this card. So as long as Rezard's on the field, every time he's killing people on your opponent's side, they're going to come to your field at the end of the turn. But once this Rezard dies, all those Resonators get banished, if I'm reading that correctly. Also, this card gains, whenever this card deals damage, you gain that much life, as long as your J-Ruler is Rezard the Undead Lord or Rezard the Desecrating Vampire. So if you run that original Rezard, and you bring this Rezard out every time it deals damage, you're going to gain that much life. I love that ability. I love this card, and I'm going to use it. It's as simple as that. Now, interesting to see, this is Machina, the Clockwork King, a Machine Resonator. It costs 3, 1 dark, 1 blue, and 1 of other, 600 attack and defense. And here's something interesting. Even though it costs dark and water, it says this card has no attribute. So it's a void, it has no attribute. So it's important there. Also, when this card enters your field, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a machine, you may put it into your field. At the next end of turn, return it to its owner's hand. Okay, so you play Machina the Clockwork King, and you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a machine, it goes right into the field, but at the end of turn, it's got to come back into your hand. So, this is going to be something where you want to find a way to give machines swiftness. That's how I'm reading this. And then if you can somehow manipulate it to where you know the top card is the remote control golem or a Maribel, and they get to come right onto the field, swing right away if they have the swiftness, and then they go into your hand. So really interesting and really good artwork. I do love Machina too. Really good ruler, and I like machines. So I'm interested to see how this is going to work out. But definitely something to keep in mind. It's a fun little mechanic. So guys, that is it for today's spoilers. And sorry for a little long-winded, but I wanted to make sure to read all the abilities and just give my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think about this round of spoilers. You like it? You hate it? I like where they're going with the direction of this set. Incorporating the old rulers, really good mechanics, beautiful stones. Our rulers look good with their abilities, and the Resonators are now coming out with their abilities, and it's really making me want to buy this set, especially with Vingolf 2 just, really being a bummer. Vingolf 3 is starting off to look really strong. So guys, look forward to hearing from you. Love the discussion. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll have more spoilers as they come out. So as always, thanks for a few minutes, and I'll talk to you soon.